Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today we are going head-to-head with what a lot of language learners affectionately call the final boss of the Thai language. I'm talking about tones. You see, in Thai, changing your pitch doesn't just change your mood or add emphasis. No, it literally changes the entire word. It's wild.
Let's jump right into it. Think about this. A single tiny shift in your tone can be the literal difference between asking a simple, polite question and yelling out in a sheer panic that something is completely on fire. Sounds crazy, right? But it happens all the time.
To help us defeat this final boss, we're going to break down a really famous, honestly kind of absurd, Thai tongue twister. We're looking at the phrase Mai 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 versus Mai 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 Mai. Yep, you heard that right. To an untrained ear, it honestly just sounds like a broken record repeating the exact same sound over and over. But to a native Thai speaker, those are completely logical, full sentences. We're going to see exactly how tones change the entire meaning of the word Mai.
All right, first up, let's look at our Mai cheat sheet.
Before we decode that tongue twister, you've got to understand the basic rules of the game here. Thai has 5 distinct tones, and you can think of them exactly like musical notes. Mapping out these precise pitches gives each version of Mai its own distinct definition. So first up, we have mic with a high tone, where your pitch just stays high, and it means exactly what it sounds like, a microphone, or the name mic. Then we've got Mai with a low tone. You drop your pitch low and flat, and suddenly, bam, the word means new.
Now we absolutely need to pay special attention to the falling tone. For Mai, you start high and drop your voice hard, kind of like an exhausted sigh. When you use this sharp falling pitch, you're actually conveying either the word no or the word burn. Yeah, not and burn share the exact same pitch, which is honestly a huge key to unlocking our tongue twister later on.
Let's compare that directly to the rising tone, Mai. For this one, you start low and swing up at the end. Just think of the sound you make when you're caught off guard and say, huh? In Thai, this rising Mai acts as a built-in question mark for your sentence. You literally just tack it on to the end of a thought to turn a statement into a question.
Okay, so let's move on to dissecting the question.
Let's take those cheat codes and actually build a sentence with them. Stepping through the pitch changes word by word, here's what we do. Start high for mic. Go flat and low for Mai, meaning new. Drop your voice really hard for Mai, meaning burning. And then swing it up at the very end for Mai, our trusty question mark. Put it all together. Mai 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 Mai. The translation is the new mic burning. See how cool that is? 4 syllables, 4 completely different pitches, and 1 very fiery question.
Now let's flip it and look at dissecting the answer.
So, how exactly do you respond when someone asks if your audio equipment is actively catching fire? Well, this one is super tricky because you end the sentence with 2 falling tones right in a row. It goes mic, high, Mai, low, Mai falling, and Mai falling again. By dropping your pitch hard twice at the end, it basically sounds like you're emphasizing your point with heavy sighs to confidently say, the new mic is not burning.
I love this because it so brilliantly illustrates the auditory contrast we're talking about today. The only difference between asking if the microphone is literally on fire and confirming that it's totally safe is just that single final swing of the pitch. A rising pitch at the end makes it a question. A falling pitch at the end, that confirms the status of the fire.
Now, if your head is spinning just a little bit, don't worry. The biggest challenge for English speakers here is that the words for not and burn are spelled entirely differently in written Thai characters, but out loud, they share that exact same falling tone. I mean, sure, English speakers are used to homophones like tu, tu, and tu, but when you stack pitch mechanics on top of identical sounds, it forces your brain to rely completely on context and tonal memory. It is a serious mental workout.
Which brings us nicely to our final piece, the golden rule.
To actually survive this linguistic boss fight, you really just need the straightforward rule. If a word sounds like it's rising at the end, swinging up, it almost always acts as a question. But if it falls sharply, taking a sudden dive in pitch, you are either saying no or you are warning everyone about a fire. Just keep this golden rule in your back pocket, and I promise you'll navigate Thai a whole lot more safely.
Oh, and here's a quick pro tip to put your mind at ease. Don't stress too much about getting the pitch absolutely perfect every single time. Thais are incredibly good at understanding you based on the surrounding context. If you're standing next to a visibly smoking microphone and you just aggressively yell, "Why?" Trust me, they know you aren't trying to point out that the microphone is new.
Context really does a lot of the heavy lifting.
So now that you're armed with the ultimate cheat sheet to defeat the final boss of Thai tones, it's time to test your skills. Try saying Mai, 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 Mai and Mai, 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 Mai out loud right now. Honestly, how many Mai's can you say in a row before you start getting a little dizzy? Let me know. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep practicing those tones, and I'll see you next time.